Hello friends. Did you know that people born on January 19th are standing on a cosmic threshold? Balanced delicately between Capricorn and Aquarius, these individuals carry the ambition of Earth and the vision of air, resulting in one of the most complex, driven, and fascinating personalities in the zodiac. So, what secrets does the universe hold for those born on this mystical day? From love and marriage to business and friendship, from numerology to ancient Druid and Vedic traditions, we're about to take a deep cosmic dive. If you were born on January 19th, or know someone who was, get ready to be amazed. The Capricorn-Aquarius cusp, the mystery of January 19th. January 19th is a day of paradoxes, mystery, and dynamic duality. Straddling the line between the grounded practicality of Capricorn and the visionary eccentricity of Aquarius, individuals born on this day live at the intersection of two distinct cosmic worlds. Most traditional Western calendars categorize this day as Capricorn territory, ruled by Saturn, the planet of discipline, time, and structure. Yet astrologically, many born on this date begin to feel the electric stirrings of Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, nudging them toward innovation, rebellion, and radical thought. To truly understand these individuals, imagine combining the mountain goat's slow, steady ascent toward tangible success with the water-bearer's progressive urge to pour out ideas that change humanity. This unique fusion results in a person who is both methodical and imaginative, deeply traditional yet quietly revolutionary. They are not content with simply achieving goals, they want their achievements to matter, to transform, uplift, or redefine the world around them. At their core, these individuals are builders of the future with an old soul's blueprint. Capricorn brings them mastery over structure, responsibility, and perseverance. It pushes them to build strong foundations in their personal and professional lives, to respect legacy, and to earn their stripes through relentless effort. Then comes Aquarius, infusing them with originality, independence, and a visionary lens that dares to dream beyond the status quo. This creates a fascinating personality profile, people who don't just climb mountains, they reimagine the landscape altogether. They are drawn to causes that reflect their values and often feel a deep responsibility to lead others toward a better tomorrow. Their minds are alive with long-term strategy, but their hearts yearn for societal change, creative freedom, and deep intellectual fulfillment. And while they may appear cool, calm, and even distant at first glance, make no mistake, they are deep thinkers and passionate souls, often torn between wanting to uphold tradition and desiring to rewrite the rules entirely. This tension fuels their complexity and drives their purpose, not just to succeed in life, but to give that success meaning. Love romance. To be loved by someone born on January 19th is to experience a rare and beautiful balance of structure and spontaneity. These are not the type of individuals who fall quickly or carelessly. Love, for them, is sacred, it must be earned, tested, and intellectually understood. They approach romantic relationships with the same precision they bring to their careers and passions, yet they crave the kind of deep emotional connection that transcends logic. Loving them is an unfolding journey, measured, thoughtful, and filled with unexpected emotional depth. At first, they may seem reserved or even skeptical of romantic gestures. This is Capricorn's protective shell, guarded, cautious, and always calculating risks. They don't allow themselves to become vulnerable easily, and they will often test their partners subtly to ensure emotional integrity. But beneath that stoic surface lies the Aquarian influence, which bursts through in flashes of unpredictable charm, quirky humor, and an insatiable curiosity about their partner's mind and worldview. Their love style is best described as strategic intimacy. They observe, analyze, and then give themselves completely once they're sure of their emotional investment. They aren't interested in flings, emotional drama, or half-hearted affection. What they seek is a bond that challenges them, supports their ambitions, and fuels their inner growth. They admire partners who are mentally stimulating, emotionally honest, and unafraid to dream big. If you're the kind of person who can match their intellect, engage in philosophical debates, and share a long-term vision, you'll find in them a fiercely loyal and endlessly supportive partner. But beware, these individuals are not impressed by superficiality. Clinginess, emotional games, or a lack of self-direction will push them away faster than you can say, incompatible. They need independence in love, both theirs and yours. The ideal romantic scenario for a January 19th soul is one where both partners evolve together, intertwined yet autonomous. What they need in a partner: intellectual connection. Stimulating conversations, philosophical pondering, and a shared thirst for knowledge are absolute musts. If you can't challenge their mind, you'll never reach their heart. Emotional honesty. They can spot dishonesty or emotional immaturity a mile away. Vulnerability, paired with strength, is their love language. Shared ambition or purpose. Whether it's building a family, launching a business, or changing the world, they want a partner with drive, someone who wants to build something meaningful together. What they dislike: clinginess. Constant neediness suffocates them. They value space, freedom, and the ability to breathe within a relationship. Shallow conversations. Small talk. Forget it. If you can't dive deep, they'll quickly lose interest. Lack of independence. They want a partner, not a project. Codependency is a deal-breaker. These individuals don't fall in love, they ascend into it. Their relationships are built to last, but only if both people are growing toward the same mountain peak. Pro tip: want to impress someone born on January 19th? Forget roses and candlelight dinners, at least at first. Instead, talk about your life goals, ask deep questions, and respectfully challenge their ideas. They love a partner who can match them in debate, intrigue them intellectually, and show resilience when things get tough. Share your passions, show your spine, and always keep it real. They can't resist depth, strength, and authenticity. Sex intimacy. Sex, for those born on the Capricorn-Aquarius cusp, is not merely a physical act, it is a multidimensional experience that intertwines mental engagement, emotional connection, and physical expression. These individuals are not casual lovers. They bring purpose and presence into the bedroom, approaching intimacy much like they approach life, with strategy, awareness, and an undercurrent of deep desire that few ever truly get to see. They might not be the most overtly passionate at first glance, but underneath their composed exterior lies a smoldering fire that burns with slow, deliberate intensity. In the early stages of a relationship, they tend to approach sex with caution. Their Capricorn side is reserved, composed, and self-protective. They want to understand the emotional dynamics before they allow themselves to become vulnerable in a physical way. This means they are slow to undress emotionally and physically, but once trust is built, their sensuality unfolds with remarkable depth and creativity. Unlike signs that chase novelty for novelty's sake, January 19th individuals look for partners who make them feel safe enough to explore their more adventurous side. The Aquarian influence adds a surprising twist. Once they feel comfortable, they can become curious, experimental lovers, open to unconventional expressions of desire and interested in understanding the psychological dynamics of passion. They're turned on by originality, honesty, and intelligence. They might want to try new things, not because they're thrill seekers, but because they believe that true intimacy includes exploration and trust. Conversations about boundaries, fantasies, and emotional comfort zones aren't awkward for them, they're essential. And they want you to bring your full self to the table too. They are also remarkably attuned to their partner's rhythms and needs. Capricorn gives them patience and presence, Aquarius adds intuition and innovation. They aren't concerned with performing in the traditional sense, they want to create a meaningful, memorable connection. Sex with them is rarely routine, even when the physical act becomes familiar, their focus on emotional alignment keeps it engaging and alive. It's important to note that they require emotional trust and mental stimulation to truly surrender. Casual hookups are rarely satisfying to them in the long term. Their bodies may respond, but their hearts and minds demand more. When their needs are ignored or if they feel disrespected, their sexual interest can shut down instantly. Respect, for them, is the ultimate aphrodisiac. In a fully realized sexual relationship, they offer a rare and powerful kind of intimacy, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual. When they open up, it's not just a physical act, it's a profound exchange of energy, intention, and connection that can leave a lasting imprint on both partners. Marriage long-term bonds. When it comes to lifelong commitment, individuals born on January 19 take the concept of marriage extremely seriously. These are not the spontaneous Vegas elopement types. Marriage, for them, is not just about love, it's about partnership, legacy, and shared growth. It's about choosing a teammate who will help them build something that lasts, a life, a family, a mission. Before they tie the knot, they go through a deep and private internal process of evaluation. They don't commit unless they're convinced the relationship has long-term viability, emotional sustainability, and a shared sense of purpose. Their Capricorn side craves structure, loyalty, and a predictable rhythm to life. They want to build a home that is a sanctuary, stable, secure, and rooted in mutual respect. They envision marriage as a sacred contract, one that shouldn't be broken lightly. Divorce is not something they ever aspire to. In fact, the very idea of failure in such a critical area of life can deeply unsettle them, which is why they take such care to ensure their partner aligns with their values, goals, and emotional style. The Aquarian side brings something equally essential, a need for individual freedom within the union. They believe that the best marriages are those in which both people grow, change, and evolve, but never lose themselves in the process. These individuals do not want a spouse who needs constant reassurance or who seeks to define the relationship in traditional, limiting terms. They want an equal, a co-creator of dreams, someone who can challenge them intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually. If you're married to a January 19 soul, expect a partnership that feels like an evolving enterprise of love and purpose. Their marriages often resemble what we might call power partnerships. These aren't clingy or overly sentimental bonds. They are rooted in shared goals, mutual respect, and aligned vision. Together, this couple is often admired for their ability to support one another while also chasing individual ambitions. Their union becomes a source of inspiration, balanced, strong, quietly intense, and built to last. They are incredibly loyal spouses. Infidelity or betrayal of any kind devastates them not just emotionally but existentially, because trust is the foundation of their bond. They are not necessarily romantic in the traditional sense, they might forget flowers or anniversaries, but they'll show their love by building you a future, standing by your side through every challenge, and believing in your potential even when you don't. Ideal marital partners. Virgo grounded and analytical. Virgo's practicality and attention to detail complement the Capricorn-Aquarius cusp strategic nature. This pairing creates a household that runs like a well-oiled machine, with plenty of room for quiet love and shared purpose. Taurus loyal and sensual. Taurus offers emotional steadiness and sensual comfort, balancing Capricorn's discipline and softening Aquarius's sometimes distant demeanor. They create a sanctuary together, both sensual and secure. Scorpio intense and transformative. Scorpio brings emotional depth and psychological insight, which can be intensely attractive to the January 19 personality. Both signs value loyalty and transformation, making this a passionate and purpose-driven union. Aquarius mentally stimulating. This match can be unpredictable but deeply rewarding. They may challenge each other, but they speak the same language of ideals and intellect. If both partners respect each other's space, this can be a long-lasting bond based on shared vision and respect for individuality. Caution signs. Leo too dramatic. While Leo's confidence and flair can initially intrigue, their need for constant attention and theatrical expression can clash with the more emotionally reserved nature of January 19 individuals. Gemini too scattered. Though Gemini brings quick wit and light-hearted fun, they can lack the stability and consistency that Capricorn-Aquarius cuspers need to feel emotionally safe in a marriage. Aries too impulsive. Aries' high-octane spontaneity can feel reckless or destabilizing to someone who prefers calculated risks and long-term thinking. Power struggles may arise if neither partner is willing to compromise. Marriage, for someone born on January 19th, isn't a fairy tale, it's a mission. They are devoted, strong-willed partners who invest deeply in building a relationship that can weather life's storms and leave a legacy that outlives them. If you're lucky enough to be loved by them, you'll know what it means to be chosen, deliberately, loyally, and with enduring intention. Friendship. Friendship with someone born on January 19th is like having a compass that always points toward growth, wisdom, and authenticity. These individuals are not the loudest in the room, nor are they likely to fill your life with dramatic highs and lows. But what they bring is consistency, depth, and grounded loyalty, a rare and valuable currency in today's fast-paced world of fleeting connections. They're the friends who remember your big interview, send you articles they know you'll love, and show up when you really need them, even if they didn't say a word about it beforehand. Their Capricorn roots make them discerning when it comes to social bonds. They don't collect dozens of superficial friendships. Instead, they invest their time and energy in cultivating a small, tightly knit circle of trusted confidants. These are the people they let into their inner world, a world where vulnerability doesn't come easily, and where trust is earned, not given. If you've been accepted into that circle, consider it a profound compliment. It means they've seen something in you, depth, intelligence, and sincerity, and have deemed you worth their emotional investment. But don't mistake their quiet loyalty for passivity. Their Aquarian streak means that, while they value tradition and reliability, they also crave intellectual stimulation and individual freedom. They will not tolerate emotional manipulation, gossip, or codependency. They want their friendships to be mutually empowering, spaces where ideas are exchanged, goals are supported, and personal evolution is encouraged. In this way, a friendship with a January 19th individual often feels like having both a mentor and a partner in crime. You'll get both deep conversations about the human condition and sarcastic commentary about the world's absurdities. These individuals are not always emotionally expressive, especially in the typical extroverted sense. They're unlikely to text you 20 times a day or flood your Instagram stories with inside jokes. But they're always thinking about the people they care for, often in practical and long-term ways. They'll help you plan your business, fix your resume, challenge your excuses, and quietly push you to become a better version of yourself, even if you don't realize they're doing it until years later. Their ideal friendships are built on respect, integrity, and mutual independence. They don't want to babysit their friends, nor do they want to be coddled. What they offer is a safe space to be fully human, flawed, brilliant, evolving. They'll hold your secrets like a vault, call you out when you're lying to yourself, and sit with you in silence without feeling the need to fill the void with words. Friendships with them can last a lifetime, often evolving from acquaintances to chosen family over time. They may take a while to warm up emotionally, but once they do, they offer a deep, steady flame that never flickers in the wind. These are the friends who will still be in your corner 20 years from now, not because it's convenient, but because they believe in loyalty as a way of life. If you ever betray their trust or violate their personal boundaries, however, don't expect them to stick around. Capricorn's unforgiving memory paired with Aquarius's sense of justice means they'll walk away quietly, but permanently. They don't do second chances lightly. Being friends with a January 19th soul is a gift. They won't smother you with attention, but they'll anchor you with unwavering presence. And when you're around them, you can't help but feel like life has more direction, like you're becoming the kind of person you were always meant to be. Business career. People born on January 19th are wired for legacy building, not just income earning. In the realm of business and career, they are the architects of their own futures, carefully laying each brick with purpose, vision, and a long-game mentality. These individuals don't just chase promotions or paychecks, they pursue meaningful achievement, grounded in values and aimed at impact. For them, work is more than a profession, it's a statement about who they are and what they're here to contribute to the world. At the heart of their professional identity lies a powerful dual influence, the earthbound ambition of Capricorn and the sky-reaching idealism of Aquarius. This means they are uniquely positioned to not only master systems but also challenge and reinvent them. Capricorn gifts them with discipline, organization, and an intense work ethic. They know how to build things from the ground up, how to plan meticulously, and how to show up, day after day, long after others have given up. They are the backbone of any organization they serve, often rising through the ranks simply because their reliability and intelligence command respect. But then there's Aquarius, the inner innovator, the rule breaker, the rebel with a vision. This is what gives them their edge. While other Capricorns might be content with tradition, January 19th individuals often seek to disrupt, redesign, or reimagine. They may appear conservative on the outside, but their minds are running complex simulations of how to make systems smarter, teams more agile, and ideas more impactful. They think decades ahead, often spotting trends or patterns before they become obvious to others. This makes them excellent entrepreneurs, visionary executives, forward-thinking educators, engineers, lawyers, and public servants. They are natural strategists, with the ability to see both the immediate landscape and the broader horizon. When others are caught up in the daily grind, they're already 5 moves ahead, making adjustments, anticipating change, and building infrastructure that lasts. They're also highly self-motivated and self-sufficient. These individuals do not need external validation to do exceptional work. In fact, they often thrive in solitude, preferring to focus deeply and independently. They are driven by an internal compass, a need to reach their own standard of excellence, which is almost always higher than anyone else's. This inner pressure can make them high achievers, but it can also lead to workaholism or burnout if they don't learn to rest, delegate, and prioritize well-being. Leadership comes naturally to them, not necessarily because they seek authority, but because people recognize their competence, clarity, and quiet confidence. They are the ones others turn to in a crisis. They may not be loud or flashy, but they are steady, resourceful, and wise under pressure. Colleagues admire their logic, subordinates trust their fairness. And even when they disagree with leadership, they find tactful, strategic ways to influence change from within. Despite their strong sense of structure, they crave purpose. They want their work to mean something, to stand for something. If they find themselves in a job that feels soulless or unethical, they will either try to reform it or leave. That Aquarian influence simply won't allow them to remain in environments that suppress innovation or ignore human progress. Money, for them, is a tool, not a trophy. They are usually good with finances, careful investors, and long-term planners. But what truly motivates them is the ability to use their skills to build something that matters, whether that's a company, a community initiative, a nonprofit, or a legacy for their family. Their career path is rarely linear. Many of them start off on a traditional route, only to break away later and pursue something entirely different, something that aligns with their deeper calling. It might be launching their own startup, switching to a social impact role, or pursuing a second career that reflects a long-suppressed passion. And when they do make this pivot, they don't do it impulsively. They plan it meticulously, often surprising others with how seamless and successful the transition turns out to be. Strengths in business. Strategic vision. They don't just see the next step, they see the whole staircase. Their ability to anticipate, map out, and execute long-term plans is second to none. Unshakable discipline. Whether it's a deadline, a crisis, or a long grind toward a major goal, they have the stamina to push through, gracefully. Integrity and ethics. They don't cut corners. Their reputation matters, and they'd rather walk away from a shady opportunity than compromise their principles. Innovation balanced with pragmatism. They can take radical ideas and find practical ways to implement them, a rare and valuable talent. Numerology, the power of 1 plus 9. Numbers, like the stars, speak in symbols, and for those born on January 19th, the numerological message is loud and clear: you were born to lead, but never blindly. You lead with purpose, with vision, and with a heart that understands both ambition and compassion. It's a rare mix, but one that defines the very soul of this birth date. Let's break it down. The digits in January 19th to 1st and 9 are more than just numbers on a calendar. In numerology, 1 is the trailblazer, the independent spirit, the original thinker. It is the vibration of self-initiation, courage, and individual power. It is about forging your own way, often despite the odds or without a clear blueprint to follow. People with strong 1 energy tend to be confident, assertive, and relentlessly forward-moving. They are the ones who walk into a room and, without trying, shift the energy, not because they demand attention, but because they exude certainty. Their presence says, "I know where I'm going," even if they're still figuring out the map. But January 19th doesn't stop there. The number 9 is just as crucial to understanding this cosmic equation. While 1 is about the self, 9 is about the whole. It represents universal love, deep wisdom, empathy, and humanitarianism. It is the number of the old soul, the person who understands suffering, sees the bigger picture, and wants to make a lasting difference. 9s are spiritual guides, artists of life, people who strive not just to succeed, but to serve. There is a soft nobility to the 9, a desire to uplift others and lead by example. Now, when you combine 1 and 9, you get 10, a number representing wholeness, completion, and new beginnings. And when 10 is reduced 1 plus 0, you're brought back to 1. So we return to the leader, but this time, a leader shaped by compassion, by deep emotional intelligence, and a higher mission. That's what sets January 19th apart from other 1 birth dates. This is not the cold, corporate leader or the aggressive trailblazer. This is someone whose drive is fused with vision, whose strength is laced with wisdom, and whose independence never loses sight of collective well-being. This numerological blueprint explains why so many people born on this day don't fit into traditional molds. They may have the skills to follow a conventional path, often excelling in academics, business, or structure, but something deeper calls to them. A need to contribute. To make their mark. To be part of something larger than themselves. They're not content with just climbing ladders, they want to build them, redesign them, or tear them down and create something better. It also speaks to their internal conflict, the push and pull between personal ambition and altruistic purpose. They want to be successful, yes, but not at any cost. Their conscience is powerful. Their sense of responsibility, to themselves, to others, to the planet, is something they cannot ignore. When they follow this calling, they become transformative forces in whatever field they enter. But when they deny it, life can start to feel hollow, like something vital is missing. People born on January 19th are, in numerological terms, the bridge between self and service. They are independent visionaries with a heart for humanity, and once they recognize that their greatest success lies in lifting others as they rise, they step fully into their destiny. Druid Horoscope, the Elm Tree. In the ancient Celtic Druidic Tree astrology system, each period of the year is represented not by a constellation, but by a tree, each carrying its own sacred wisdom and energetic essence. For those born on January 19th, that sacred guardian is the elm tree, a symbol of nobility, structure, deep-rooted loyalty, and ethical leadership. Elm is not a flashy or flamboyant tree. It doesn't command attention with exotic flowers or overwhelming fragrance. Instead, it stands with quiet dignity, strong, balanced, and enduring. This mirrors the nature of January 19th individuals perfectly. They're not interested in theatrics. They don't need applause. What drives them is integrity, purpose, and the deep satisfaction of doing what's right, even when no one is watching. Elm tree people are known in Druid lore to be quiet leaders, those who guide with presence rather than power. Their influence is rarely loud, but it is always respected. They lead by example, not by force. And in crisis, they are the calm in the storm. Their strength lies not in brute force but in emotional stability, discretion, and clarity. They hold themselves, and others, to high standards, but never in a way that feels overbearing. It's more like standing next to someone whose energy simply inspires you to do better. Another defining feature of the elm in Druidic wisdom is its connection to tradition and law. Elm-spirited individuals often possess a deep respect for structure, justice, and societal ethics. They may be drawn to systems like law, education, public service, or any institution where fairness and order are essential. But they don't just follow rules blindly, they seek to understand, improve, and elevate them. There's a philosopher in the elm soul, a quiet analyst always looking for meaning behind the mechanics. Elm people are also deeply trustworthy and loyal. They take relationships seriously and expect the same in return. If you've earned their trust, you've gained a lifelong ally, someone who will show up, speak truthfully, and stand by you when it counts most. They hate betrayal, and they're rarely quick to forgive it. But their loyalty, once secured, is nearly unshakable. Despite their composed exterior, elm-born individuals carry intense emotional depth beneath the surface. They may not always express their feelings freely, but they feel them strongly. This emotional intelligence is what gives them their signature poise. They're grounded not just in logic, but in empathy and understanding. And while they may appear emotionally distant to some, those close to them know just how profoundly they care. In relationships, elm tree personalities are nurturing, principled, and fiercely dependable. As friends or partners, they offer strength, quiet protection, and a steady moral compass. They do not tolerate chaos or disloyalty well, but when met with honesty and respect, they are unshakable pillars of love and support. In essence, the elm tree teaches us about the dignity of stillness, the power of presence, and the strength of deeply planted roots. And for those born on January 19th, this ancient symbol is not just a metaphor, it's a mirror of the very essence they carry through life. Vedic Astrology, Makara Rashi. In the profound and ancient wisdom of Vedic astrology, the birth date January 19th aligns with Makara Rashi, which corresponds to the zodiac sign of Capricorn. Governed by the planet Shani, known in Western astrology as Saturn, this placement brings a life imbued with structure, karma, and a sense of destiny that often feels both weighty and purposeful from a young age. In Vedic tradition, Saturn is not a planet of punishment as much as it is a teacher, a stern but fair force that rewards discipline, humility, patience, and enduring commitment. Individuals born under Makara Rashi are believed to be deeply karmic souls, often here to resolve significant lessons from past incarnations. They approach life with a gravitas that others their age may not understand. Even as children, they may seem wiser, more introspective, or more serious than their peers. They have what many refer to as an old soul energy, innately aware that time is precious and that every action carries consequences. This gives them an air of maturity early on, and often results in them being looked to for guidance, even by people older than themselves. Shani's influence bestows upon them an exceptional level of patience and perseverance. Where others may crumble in the face of hardship, Makara Rashi individuals endure, adapt, and rise, often stronger and more centered than before. They're not afraid of long roads or uphill battles. In fact, they thrive in challenges, because they understand that mastery comes through time, not shortcuts. Their progress in life may be slow at times, but it is always purposeful, grounded, and lasting. Responsibility is their sacred language. These individuals often feel a deep internal pressure to do things right, not just for themselves, but for their families, communities, or even society at large. There's a built-in sense of moral obligation, a quiet drive to uphold tradition, protect others, or restore order where there is chaos. In careers, they're often drawn to leadership positions not because they crave power, but because they genuinely want to see systems run more effectively and ethically. Interestingly, while they may feel aged or burdened in youth, often grappling with existential themes before others do, they tend to grow lighter in spirit as they age. This is the blessing of Saturn's cycle. Those born under Makara Rashi often age in reverse, feeling freer, more playful, and more emotionally open in their 30s, 40s, and beyond. As they fulfill their karmic duties and align with their soul purpose, they begin to experience a deeper kind of inner joy, one rooted in wisdom, not escapism. Under the Nakshatra lunar mansion system, most January 19th individuals fall under Uttara Ashada, one of the most powerful and spiritually elevated nakshatras. Uttara Ashada translates to later victory or final victory, and it's ruled by the Vishvadevas, universal deities representing truth, justice, leadership, and unwavering integrity. People born under this nakshatra are seen as champions of righteousness, often carrying the burden of transforming society through personal example. They are natural reformers, builders of legacy, and guardians of truth. Their lives tend to unfold in chapters, quiet preparation early on, followed by great impact in later years. Those influenced by Uttara Ashada are not just destined for success, they're called to achieve it through honor, virtue, and service. Their leadership is rarely flashy, it's calm, composed, and anchored in deep principles. These are the people others follow not because they shout, but because they live their values so clearly that it inspires everyone around them to rise higher. In every sense, Vedic astrology frames January 19th natives as individuals on a sacred mission, one shaped by karma, defined by discipline, and ultimately blessed by the fulfillment of their higher dharma, or soul purpose. Flower horoscope, Carnation. The flower associated with January is the carnation, and it couldn't be a more perfect symbol for those born on the 19th. At first glance, the carnation might seem simple, modest even, compared to flashier blooms like roses or orchids. But spend a little time with it, and you'll see what it truly represents: depth, resilience, layered beauty, and unwavering devotion. Just like the people born under its influence, the carnation is complex beneath the surface, deeply expressive, and built to withstand the test of time. Carnations are flowers of contrast and duality, soft and ruffled on the outside, but held together by a firm, fibrous stem that can weather cold, heat, and neglect. In the language of flowers, carnations symbolize strength of character, enduring love, and admiration, all traits that ring true for the January 19th personality. These are not people who wilt under pressure. In fact, they often become more beautiful, more interesting, and more determined the harder life becomes. There is also something subtly romantic about carnations, especially in the way they unfold. Much like January 19th individuals, carnations don't reveal everything at once. They blossom gradually, each petal unfurling in time, revealing new texture and color with every layer. Emotionally, people born on this day are similar. They don't rush intimacy or overshare their inner world. They take their time to trust, to love, and to fully express themselves. But when they do, they bring a richness of feeling that is honest, grounded, and soul-stirring. Carnations are also incredibly versatile. They adapt to different climates, hold up well in bouquets, and are used in everything from romantic gestures to ceremonial events. January 19th individuals possess the same kind of versatility. They can thrive in a variety of environments, relate to a wide range of people, and adapt to shifting circumstances without losing their core identity. There's an emotional durability to them that makes them dependable and magnetic, especially in high-stakes or long-term relationships. One of the most compelling aspects of the carnation symbolism is how it blends romantic idealism with practical endurance. Unlike flowers that demand perfect conditions to bloom, carnations keep growing even in adversity. Similarly, January 19th natives don't need perfection to give love or receive it. They are realists at heart, but never cynical. Their love is pragmatic, thoughtful, and built on a foundation of mutual respect. And yet, beneath their sensible exterior lies a deeply poetic and faithful heart, one that will go to extraordinary lengths for the people they care about. They make exceptional partners, friends, and companions because they know that beauty lies not in fleeting passion but in consistency, loyalty, and thoughtful expression. Their version of romance isn't necessarily grand gestures, it's remembering your favorite book, cooking your comfort food after a hard day, or standing beside you when you feel like falling apart. Ultimately, the Carnation tells us everything we need to know about January 19th souls: tough but tender, complex but sincere, and beautiful in the quietest, most enduring ways. Stone Horoscope, Garnet. For those born on January 19th, the garnet is far more than a birthstone, it is a symbolic ally, a metaphysical mirror, and a source of silent, stabilizing power. Deep in color and steeped in ancient meaning, the garnet carries an energetic vibration that speaks directly to the soul of the Capricorn-Aquarius cusp, strong, visionary, protective, and full of quiet fire. With hues that range from blood red to wine-deep violet, garnet radiates with intensity, not a chaotic blaze, but a controlled, enduring flame, much like the January 19th individual who wears it. Historically, garnets were treasured not only for their beauty, but also for their reputed powers of protection, courage, and purification. Warriors once wore them into battle as talismans of strength, and travelers carried them to guard against danger in the night. For January 19th natives, garnet doesn't just symbolize safety, it helps restore energetic equilibrium, keeping their minds clear, their hearts steady, and their spirits anchored, even when navigating life's more turbulent waters. Emotionally, garnet provides something essential: balance. These individuals often carry enormous internal pressure, an unrelenting desire to succeed, combined with a quiet fear of failure that can gnaw at their confidence over time. Garnet helps smooth out those emotional spikes. It offers grounding energy when ambition threatens to spiral into anxiety, and it reignites motivation when exhaustion takes hold. For someone who often carries the weight of both personal expectations and societal responsibilities, garnet acts as a stabilizer, keeping their emotional landscape rich, steady, and focused. This gem is also known for enhancing self-confidence and personal magnetism. Not the loud, performative kind, but the deep, steady knowing that they are capable, worthy, and prepared. When worn regularly, garnet seems to awaken the inner voice that says, "You've got this," a voice that January 19th individuals sometimes silence in their quest for external validation. The gem's vibration aligns with the root chakra, reinforcing their sense of belonging, purpose, and security in both the material and emotional world. One of garnet's most subtle but powerful traits is its ability to repel negative energy, especially the kind that lingers in the form of self-doubt, envy, or manipulation from others. January 19th individuals are often admired for their intellect and ambition, but with visibility comes scrutiny, and not all of it well-meaning. Garnet forms a protective energetic shield, helping them move through social spaces and leadership roles without absorbing unnecessary emotional toxins or draining energy from those around them. Perhaps most beautifully, garnet enhances the natural leadership and protectiveness already ingrained in those born on January 19th. It amplifies their loyalty, sharpens their instincts, and strengthens their resolve to stand up for what's right, even when it's not easy. Whether they are leading a team, raising a family, or standing firm in their values, garnet supports their mission with quiet courage and unwavering integrity. Wearing garnet is not about style, it's about alignment. For January 19th souls, it reconnects them with their inner fire, grounds them in their higher calling, and reminds them that power is not noise, it's presence. In the right hands, this stone becomes not just a beautiful accessory, but a daily ritual of self-reclamation. Soul Lessons Destiny. To be born on January 19th is to inherit a profound and demanding spiritual assignment. These individuals do not arrive in this world by accident, nor do they coast through life without direction. Theirs is a soul shaped by mission, and at its core lies a single, resonant imperative: to build something that lasts. Whether it's a legacy of leadership, a reformed institution, a thriving family, or a reimagined societal system, the January 19th individual is here to leave imprint over ego, substance over status. This mission is not always understood early in life. In fact, many January 19th natives spend their youth feeling out of step with their peers, sensing a depth and seriousness within themselves that others don't yet share. There may be a strong internal awareness that time is precious, that choices carry weight, and that they are somehow being watched, not by others, but by a higher inner standard. This quiet intensity isn't a burden, it's a compass. And as they mature, they begin to see it for what it truly is, a call to greatness. The soul lessons of January 19th revolve around balance, not just between extremes, but between worlds. Logic and emotion. Structure and freedom. Tradition and innovation. Ambition and compassion. These individuals walk a line between Capricorn's earthbound focus and Aquarius's airborne vision, and their destiny depends on their ability to merge the two. They are here to show that success doesn't have to be cold, that vision doesn't have to be chaotic, and that leadership can, and should, come from the heart. This balance isn't always easy to achieve. The Capricorn influence can pull them toward perfectionism, rigidity, or an over-reliance on external achievements. At the same time, the Aquarian current may tempt them to rebel, isolate, or float above reality in an endless search for idealism. The soul must learn when to root and when to fly, when to stay grounded in practical wisdom, and when to rise above into inspired thinking. When they master this dance, their life becomes a kind of alchemy, turning pressure into power, and vision into tangible impact. One of their deepest challenges is learning to trust not only their intellect, but their emotions and intuition. Because they often feel responsible for everyone and everything, they may suppress their own needs or disconnect from vulnerability. But destiny demands that they open the heart. That they allow love to guide decisions. That they trust that soft power, compassion, empathy, forgiveness, is just as essential as strength, reason, and order. Their calling may not look the same for everyone. Some will build companies, others will write books, raise conscious children, invent technologies, heal communities, or lead movements. But no matter the form, the function is the same: to create what endures. To make life better for others. To establish systems, relationships, or teachings that outlast their lifetime. The universe did not give them easy gifts. It gave them potential, purpose, and a powerful internal engine. With that comes responsibility, but also a deep, soul-level joy when their gifts are used in service of something bigger than themselves. They are not here to float. They are here to anchor, elevate, and ignite. So if you were born on January 19th, remember this: you are not here to follow the script. You are here to write a new one. One that honors the past but dares to rewrite the future. One that leads not by control, but by example. One that awakens others not by force, but by the sheer authenticity of your presence. The world doesn't just need your brilliance, it needs your integrity, your courage, your vision, and most of all, your heart. Soul Lessons Destiny. To be born on January 19th is to inherit a profound and demanding spiritual assignment. These individuals do not arrive in this world by accident, nor do they coast through life without direction. Theirs is a soul shaped by mission, and at its core lies a single, resonant imperative: to build something that lasts. Whether it's a legacy of leadership, a reformed institution, a thriving family, or a reimagined societal system, the January 19th individual is here to leave imprint over ego, substance over status. This mission is not always understood early in life. In fact, many January 19th natives spend their youth feeling out of step with their peers, sensing a depth and seriousness within themselves that others don't yet share. There may be a strong internal awareness that time is precious, that choices carry weight, and that they are somehow being watched, not by others, but by a higher inner standard. This quiet intensity isn't a burden, it's a compass. And as they mature, they begin to see it for what it truly is, a call to greatness. The soul lessons of January 19th revolve around balance, not just between extremes, but between worlds. Logic and emotion. Structure and freedom. Tradition and innovation. Ambition and compassion. These individuals walk a line between Capricorn's earthbound focus and Aquarius's airborne vision, and their destiny depends on their ability to merge the two. They are here to show that success doesn't have to be cold, that vision doesn't have to be chaotic, and that leadership can, and should, come from the heart. This balance isn't always easy to achieve. The Capricorn influence can pull them toward perfectionism, rigidity, or an over-reliance on external achievements. At the same time, the Aquarian current may tempt them to rebel, isolate, or float above reality in an endless search for idealism. The soul must learn when to root and when to fly, when to stay grounded in practical wisdom, and when to rise above into inspired thinking. When they master this dance, their life becomes a kind of alchemy, turning pressure into power, and vision into tangible impact. One of their deepest challenges is learning to trust not only their intellect, but their emotions and intuition. Because they often feel responsible for everyone and everything, they may suppress their own needs or disconnect from vulnerability. But destiny demands that they open the heart. That they allow love to guide decisions. That they trust that soft power, compassion, empathy, forgiveness, is just as essential as strength, reason, and order. Their calling may not look the same for everyone. Some will build companies, others will write books, raise conscious children, invent technologies, heal communities, or lead movements. But no matter the form, the function is the same: to create what endures. To make life better for others. To establish systems, relationships, or teachings that outlast their lifetime. The universe did not give them easy gifts. It gave them potential, purpose, and a powerful internal engine. With that comes responsibility, but also a deep, soul-level joy when their gifts are used in service of something bigger than themselves. They are not here to float. They are here to anchor, elevate, and ignite. So if you were born on January 19th, remember this: you are not here to follow the script. You are here to write a new one. One that honors the past but dares to rewrite the future. One that leads not by control, but by example. One that awakens others not by force, but by the sheer authenticity of your presence. The world doesn't just need your brilliance, it needs your integrity, your courage, your vision, and most of all, your heart. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss the cosmic truth next time. And hey, if you're feeling the stars align, check out the links in the description for bonus content and personalized horoscopes. Stay grounded. Dream big. The universe is watching.